Hey folks, welcome one, welcome all. It is your friendly neighborhood Pokémon Mystery Dungeon shill, Spoony Liger. So here I am with yet another art time-lapse video. Yep, you guessed it, it's another Pokémon Mystery Dungeon fan art, and this time I'm drawing the fan favorite 3-time Academy Award winner Gulpin Link Shop from Rescue Team, featuring our favorite poisonous blob of green, Gulpin. But that's not all, I will also be reading the second chapter of my Pokémon fanfic, Pokémon Scouts. And because I know you enjoyed the first chapter so heckin' much, I also know that you're definitely subscribed to this channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss future chapters of Pokémon Scouts and art time lapses. For those who aren't familiar with the general premise of the story, here's a synopsis that I'm just going to cut and paste from the previous video where I was drawing a greedy, jealous, self-serving, money-grubbing. The fanfic is called Pokémon Scouts, and it focuses on a small team of Pokémon training to become Pokémon Scouts. Claire, a feisty Shinx, and Luna, a careful Chimchar, are both under the instruction of their teacher, Master Lore, a wise and strong Greninja. As Pokémon Scouts, Claire and Luna must take on the duty of searching for and saving other Pokémon that have been taken control of by vicious, maroon-collared, green-eyed nocturnal beasts known as the Noctings. In today's chapter, our main characters return to their base camp to unwind and introduce their new friend, Elio, to fellow Scout students. Meanwhile, their counselor, Master Lore, must check in with the Scout Grandmasters to report on the day's events and on the curious case of Elio's loss of memory. Alright, with all of that very interesting stuff out of the way, let's get into Pokémon Scouts Chapter 2, Camp Galiode. With the sky starting to shed its signature blues for the warmer colors of dusk, Master Lore and his pupils could now see their home, Camp Galiode, close at hand. The structure was like a fortress made of wood, with walls made of tall, sturdy logs that were cut at the top into sharp ends. Watchtowers were placed at intervals along the walls, on which various avian Pokémon were perched. Surrounding the camp, a wide moat added a second layer of protection. In it swam dozens upon dozens of aquatic Pokémon, occasionally jumping in and out of water. Twirling a flower still hanging from his mouth, Master Lore quietly hummed a bit of a tune as he casually strided along the beaten path leading to the camp. And just behind him, Claire and Luna followed along with their new friend Elio, strutting forward with the amazement of an infant in his eyes. You know, it's actually much bigger than it looks from here, Claire explained. Why is it so big? Asked Elio. Our camp is the biggest one in the nation of Alindia, so we have a larger number of scouts training and living there than most other camps throughout the continent. In fact, it's so big, it looks more like a town than a camp, said Luna. But it probably looks bigger than it really is because of the walls. They have to be really big to protect us from the hordes of Noctings that attack every night, Claire added. Elio listened attentively, but it was obvious to Claire that he was having a hard time keeping up with all the words that he probably wasn't recognizing. Ha ha ha, Claire laughed. Well, don't worry about all that. I'm more excited to introduce you to all of our friends. Just like us, they're all training to become scouts too. Oh, you might want to stay away from Team Fang, though, Luna noted. Team Fang? Elio repeated. Yeah, they're also a scout team in training, but they're not very nice, Luna explained. Yeah, most of the time they usually keep to themselves, but if they ever decide to bother you for no good reason, we'll beat them up, Claire exclaimed, pouncing on a small rock. Do you think we even can? They're kind of strong, said Luna, somewhat embarrassed. Yeah, Claire giggled nervously. I guess you're right. I'll help too, said Elio with a confident smile. You will? Asked Claire, surprised. Elio nodded. Well, I guess we could stand a chance if we're at least evenly matched in numbers, Luna pondered. No, I think we can definitely do it, said Claire, after some pondering. Luna, don't forget how Elio almost handed our butts to us just an hour ago. Even if he was just being controlled by a Nocting. That still means that Elio's strength must be amazing. If we stick together, we can definitely defend ourselves from Team Fang. Whoa! Distracted with their conversation, Elio hadn't realized how close they had gotten to the camp's gate. Within it was framed a long cobblestone street lined with houses and huts made of stone, clay, and wood. Various Pokémon walked in and out of view, like a Simipour, who hurried along pulling a wooden cart transporting a large cloth bag and a small assortment of kitchenware rattling around hanging from the sides of the cart on ropes. The sounds of door chimes and bells occasionally fill the air from shops and restaurants, as one by one street lamps were lit up by fire-breathing Pokémon, slowly dispelling the darkness of dusk that had begun to settle. "Claire, Luna," started Master Lore as they finally stepped foot into the camp. "I have to check in with the Scout Grandmasters before I head back to Sky Lodge. Will you look after Elio until I return?" "Yes, sir," Luna and Claire exclaimed, snapping into a rigid salute. Wanting to feel included, Elio mimicked their poses with glee before parting ways with Master Lore. Sky Lodge was a wide, 3-floor building made of clay and wood. Its exterior was carved and adorned with cloud and sky motifs. Sprinkled throughout the building were various carved depictions of the Pokémon Shaman in its 2 forms, frolicking around carelessly and free. Similarly, small shaman statues and reliefs could be found throughout the building's otherwise humble architecture. Inside, small torches on the walls lit up the foyer and hallways with warm colors that made small shadows wiggle and flutter where the light couldn't reach. Claire, Luna, and Elio had just arrived at the lodge, entering through wooden doors onto the foyer. "Welcome to Sky Lodge," said Claire. Elio stepped forward ahead of them, taking in the coziness of the space. In the center of the room, there was a stone fireplace with a lively flame dancing and crackling on charred wooden logs. Elio approached the fireplace for a closer look, passing by the sofa positioned right across. "Oh, hello there," came a voice from the sofa. Surprised, Elio quickly turned to see a Mawile smiling at him, sitting with a Torchic and a sleepy Swablu. The 3 looked exhausted. "I've never seen you before. Are you a new scout student?" asked the Mawile. Elio was a little too nervous to respond. Thankfully for him, Claire and Luna were coming to his side. Luna proceeded to jump on the back of the couch with her arms hanging over onto the front, waving a hand at the 3 Pokémon immediately after. "Hey, Motop." "Hi, Blaze," greeted Luna. "Oh, and hi, Alto," she whispered to the sleeping Swablu. "Oh, Luna, Claire, you guys are back," said Motop as Elio sought refuge behind Claire. "Hi, Motop, this is Elioprim. We saved them from a feisty Nocthing during our field exam. It was a close call, too," Claire explained. "Oh, so you passed your first field exam. Congratulations, that's awesome," exclaimed Blaze, jumping off the sofa to face them. Actually, it's a little complicated," said Claire. "Oh?" said Blaze, intrigued. "Yeah," Luna sighed, climbing up from behind the sofa and taking the seat where Blaze once sat. "Little Elio here almost made us eat dirt. If it wasn't for Master Lore interjecting, things could have gotten kinda ugly." Claire noticed Elio feeling a little embarrassed by the incident and tried to reassure him. It's alright, Elio. We know it wasn't your fault," she said. "Yeah, those Nocthings can make a Pokemon do some pretty nasty things to others," said Motop. "Our field exam was pretty rough, too, but Alto here really came through for us in the nick of time." Motop gently patted the sleeping Swablu next to him. "The poor guy deserves his rest." So you guys passed your exam then," said Claire. "Yep, we saved the Stuffle in Violet Gold Mines. She was really strong, and apparently she didn't live too far from the mines either. After we freed her from the Nocting, she invited us over for some refreshments at her cottage," Blaze explained. "Yeah, her partner was really happy to see her back home too. Seems like it had been weeks since her disappearance," Motop added. "What about Elio? When did he get abducted?" "That's the thing. We actually don't know a lot about him," said Luna. Yeah, in fact, Elio Prim isn't his real name. He doesn't seem to remember anything about himself, not even his name, so he picked a new one earlier today, Claire explained. Whoa, really? That's so unfortunate, said Blaze, looking at Elio with pity. I wonder what happened to him to lose all those memories. The others hadn't noticed, but the conversation was putting a spotlight on Elio that was making him feel uncomfortable. So, I guess that's why you brought him here with you, huh? Asked Motop. Right. We don't know where he lives or who he belongs with, said Claire, taking a glance at Elio. Hey, buddy, are you alright? Claire was interrupted by Elio lifting their teary eyes up at her and then running towards the front doors of Sky Lodge. Elio, wait! Where are you going? Claire and Luna chased after Elio onto the street outside where he had stopped. Elio, what's wrong? Asked Luna, kneeling and placing a hand on Elio's back. I don't know, said Elio, wiping tears from his eyes. Did we say something that made you upset? Claire asked. Elio didn't answer as he kept wiping his eyes and his nose. I'm scared, he finally answered, hiding his face in Luna's shoulder. Claire and Luna looked at each other, not knowing what to say. Then, a flower appeared in front of Luna's face. Holding the flower between a knuckle of his index finger and the tip of his thumb was Master Lore, back from his report to the Scout Grandmasters. Here you go, little guy, he said. Master Lore, Claire and Luna exclaimed. With his face now a little flushed, Elio slowly turned away from Luna's arms to face Master Lore. Hoping to calm Elio's emotions, Master Lore pushed the flower a little closer to him. Bashfully, Elio decided to accept the flower, hiding his face behind its petals. Hey, I have an idea, started Master Lore. How would you like to have a sleepover with your new friends today? Elio lowered the flower to reveal his teary eyes and his nose now sprinkled with a yellow powder. Oh? Exclaimed Master Lore at the sight of Elio's snout covered in pollen. Elio looked up at the towering figure kneeled before him, and before he could give him an answer, a tiny sneeze came out of the equally tiny Asper. Master Lore and his pupils couldn't help but giggle a bit. Elio laughed at the situation a bit himself, before rubbing his nose on his arm and sniffling a bit. Yeah, I am feeling a bit sleepy, said Elio, shortly followed by a growling noise coming from his tummy, both surprising and embarrassing him. Ha 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 ha, sounds like you're hungry too, huh? Observed Master Lore, getting back up on his feet. Come on, let's take you inside and take care of all that. What do you say? Elio agreed, wiping his eyes a bit more. Luna extended a hand to Elio, who fastly clung to it. Claire, called Master Lore, do you have a minute? Claire turned to her teacher with a curious look as the other two made their way back through the front doors of Sky Lodge. I checked with Captain Stoutson at security headquarters about any postings for missing Asper in nearby communities, but it seems like nothing's come up, explained Master Lore. Oh, Claire moped at the news, looking down momentarily and searching her mind for alternative options before asking, what about reporting that we found Elio, to other towns? Right, there is that option, but this seems to be a very unique case, so I wanted to check with the Scout Grandmasters before doing that. Yeah, that makes sense. So, does that mean that you were able to get an audience with them? Of course. In fact, they told me that your field exam today will not affect your grade due to the unseen circumstances you faced. You'll be able to retake the exam soon enough. Claire's eyes lit up at the news, but there is still the issue with Asper, so Master Lore continued. Good news aside, they also agreed that it was best not to send out any communications about Elio for now. That sounds a bit complicated. How are we supposed to find Elio's home? At this point, it's in the Grandmaster's hands. They promised to work together with Captain Stoutson to find any leads, and when they think it's safe to send out a mass call to anyone missing a young Asper, I'm sure they'll do it without delay. All right, said Claire, feeling a bit disappointed for Elio. Claire, continued Master Lore, kneeling down closer to his pupil. I know today was a bit of an oddball, but I'm sure everything will turn out fine. It may take a little while, and hopefully it won't, but until then we'll have to be Elio's family and make sure he knows we're here for him at all times, all right? Claire nodded. Promise? Asked Master Lore, pointing a finger at Claire with a lightness in his voice. Yeah, Claire answered with a smile. Great. I'm counting on you, and Luna too. Oh, make sure you bring her up to date on all this. Just be careful not to do it around Elio. He might not be able to understand these things just yet. Claire nodded one final time before wishing her master good night and good luck. Yes, good luck, because the day wasn't over yet, at least not for Master Lore and his fellow scout masters. It is the duty of every scout master in camp to make sure their young pupils are safe inside their lodges just before heading off to assist in the dreaded night guard. So, what did you guys think of this new chapter? Was hearing a little bit about Camp Galiode interesting? What did you think about Motup's team? What about the night guard that was mentioned at the end? What do you think that's all about? So leave a comment down below, sharing your thoughts, and don't forget to give the video. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the art time lapse. Alright, that's all for today, and I'll see you on the next one.